Jay Bills from Media Spotlight UK, reunited with Simple Simon in the building. It's good to see you back. It's been a long time since I've seen you from Kingpin days.
Yeah, I know. It has, 16 months, something like that, isn't it? So time flies, isn't it?
Because the last time I saw you was in Sheffield. That was ahead of Keely's fight with Ashley Wett. You were at ringside, so I caught up with you then. How's Keely doing, by the way? Anyway, how's she keeping with things?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's actually training 5 days a week, boxing training 5 days a week at Loughborough University, and she wants to fight again at the beginning of next year. So she's doing really, really well, yeah.
Has she ever considered coming back into the space? Because the last time we spoke to her, off the back of her fight with Astrid, she said like she's done, like it was a one and done. Is that still the same in her case?
No, not at all. That's why she's training. She wants to get back into it and she wants to do another one.
Okay.
I think me and her have had the same mindset really, where we both got beaten because we didn't train a lot and we both didn't want to leave it there and wanted to get out there, improve and come back as a better boxer, you know.
Has she considered like who she might want to face? Like, would she want that rematch with Astrid just to get it back?
I don't think straight away. I think what she'll do, maybe have 1 or 2 fights before, and then if she does well, and then call it, you know. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, we know from your history, like obviously your first fight with Ed Matthews. First time I met you all that time ago. My brother interviewed you a few times as well. How does the feeling compare this week compared to the fight week that you did the first time round?
With the Ed Matthews one, it was more emotional. I got too emotional. I got wound up. I lost my head constantly, literally constantly, because it was family, and he got into my head. He knew what he was doing. He got into my head, and by the time it come to fight night, I didn't even know where I was. I'm going to be truthful. I was stiff. I was like, I don't know. I was doing a ring walk, and people were spitting at me, throwing things at me. Do you know what I mean? It was awful. It was awful.
Yeah. So how is it different this time around in terms of preparing? Because I know that obviously you've only had like 2 weeks to prepare for this fight.
Yeah, a bit more than 3 weeks.
Bit more.
Yeah, 3 weeks, okay. But yeah, not a lot more. But yeah, I mean, this one's completely different because I don't hate Dapper at all. I think he's an absolute fantastic guy, and what he's doing for charity, mental health, and that, you know, I've got full respect for him. So he's completely different. So I feel more relaxed, which I think might help me.
Because I've seen obviously with Dapper, like he's been training for the past year. Obviously you've had your first fight a year ago. What do you make of him as a fighter? Have you seen any of his training? And then how would he compare differently to Ed for this fight coming?
I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of him, to be honest with you. But he's obviously fit. He obviously uses it to help his mental health, which I think we all do at the end of the day. His boxing ability, I mean, I don't think he's on Ed's level. I mean, I think Ed's a decent boxer. I mean, people haven't seen enough of him really to say that, but I think he is. But don't get me wrong, he's not going to be any mug at all. I mean, he's going to know his stuff. He's trained well. His trainers are decent, so he's going to be in there fully prepared.
Did you see Ed's last fight with Swams? Like he just knocked him out in the first 20 seconds?
I know, yeah, it's unbelievable. I was saying just then, Swams he's a great guy. Do you know what I mean? And he probably regrets what he done, and he looks back at it and probably had the same feeling that I had. That he went into it all wrong. But Swams is better than that. We all know that. And I mean, I felt for him, but at the end of the day, not in a horrible sense, but I was quite pleased in a way because. Right. He lasted 20 seconds, I lasted 49, so I'm like, I lasted 29 more seconds.
So it's like a record that you hold. You've lasted longer.
I've lasted 29 more seconds than Swarms. Get in.
So, I mean, look, the diss track that you did on Ed like a year ago, legendary. I guess there'll probably be none of that this time round. It's probably more just mutual, everything's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we haven't really got time to do something like that anyway, but I wouldn't do that anyway. With the Ed thing, it was... I mean, Christ, it was massive. It was out there everywhere, wasn't it? It's like crazy. It was crazy times they were, but but I enjoyed doing it. It was, do you know what? That took us about 8 hours to film, and it went all through the night and the morning.
Was it the petrol station that you filmed at?
At 6 o'clock in the morning, we're still filming. Went right the way through. It was crazy, crazy.
So, I mean, like, you've been training with Salt Papi. We've seen the Misfits video. How did you connect with Salt Papi? Like, how did you get to that point? And, how's he helped you? Because he looked like he put you through the trenches.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I met Salt Papi at Keely's fight.
Okay.
And we went out like for a coffee and stuff, and then went out one evening as well and had a drink and that. And he's like I say, he's a great guy. I just clicked with him, got on really well with him, and yeah, he's a decent guy, and just went from there really.
What's the main sort of lessons, without giving it too much away, that you've taken from Salt, because he's one of the biggest influences in this game? So what have you taken away from him to mentally prepare yourself for this fight?
I think training, work rate. I mean, he trains twice a day. He's like completely fully focused on his boxing, and that's the way you've got to be. And that's what I've tried to do over the last 3 weeks, even though it's been difficult because I've got kids and stuff. But you know, I have put every single bit of effort. I mean, I've been travelling round 5-hour round trips just to train in proper places and stuff like that. You know.
And you know, in comparison to your training with Dapper's training, do you see any sort of problems knowing he's had a lot more experience than you, or are you just thinking to go in and just go with the mind state that you've gone in to do enough training to prepare?
Yeah, I think you know, when we done the face-off, we were both saying we both want to put on a good performance. We both want to go in there and look like we are boxers, you know. I'm not saying good boxers. I'll never say I'm a good boxer. I never would. Well, maybe in a few years' time, hopefully. But do you know what I mean? Not at the moment. I just want to be technically better and show people that I've improved. And I think he wants to put on a good performance as well. And I think that's it, really.
And final thing from me, obviously the influencer scene has grown massively over the past year. Have you been catching up with it a lot of late? Is there anyone that's, I mean, obviously you've trained with Salt Papi. Is there anyone that's really impressed you over the past year? And you know, not looking past Dapper, but is there anyone that you would want to face in the ring future-wise? Is there anyone on your hit list?
This is not a hit list, by the way. But
well, not a hit list, but as I said, like dream opponents, so to say.
I mean, Slim, I think Slim, technically, I think he's brilliant.
Okay.
And every time I watch him, you know, you learn something from him.
Okay.
And Salt Papi, you know, he was probably winning the fight, and Slim waited and took his chance. So I've got a lot of respect for Slim, a nice guy as well. But fighting somebody, I want to keep going. I want to get Greg Paul in that bleeding ring.
I know. I remember you were talking about this last year.
I mean, come on. He wanted bare knuckle and MMA. He's 59. Surely he doesn't want that. I mean, get the gloves on, Greg. Let's do it. Let's put it on. Everybody wants to see it.
Did you see that confrontation from John Fury and Greg Paul? Obviously from the Prime card is, you know, I'm guessing, you know, John Fury could be another addition to the Misfits. Would you like to see that happen as far as like him being in the mix as well?
I'd like to see him being in the mix. I wouldn't want to be in the ring with him. But he could be in the mix. Yeah. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But it's who he'd fight. But I think, do you know where I'd like to fight him? I've become like, quite friends with him as well because he fought with my card. He's Tempo Arts.
No, okay, heavyweight champion. Yeah.
Yeah, he's improved massive. Honestly, that was the first fight he had on the Kingpin, and I actually got him in there. I got him to fight.
Oh, so you were the person that got him in there in the first place? Okay.
Yeah. So, and he come across a really nice guy then, and he's improved massive.
Yeah.
So that'd be great, wouldn't it? I'd love to see him fight him.
That'd be crazy. Like I'm glad that you're the main responsibility for him being in it, because now he's the heavyweight champion.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I got a lot of them fighters on that card.
Yeah.
A lot of them, because a lot of them are TikTokers and stuff like that. And probably the majority. I've probably got a majority on there, to be fair. But you know, it's good to see a couple of them coming through. Ginty as well. I got him on now.
Yeah.
He's coming through as well, so it's good.
And finally, who, apart from your own fight, who else are you looking forward to seeing as far as fights on the card?
I look forward to seeing Arms. I mean, obviously, God Christ, he's massive, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
He's a big guy.
We want to mess with him, do you know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to seeing his. Looking forward to seeing the girl fight, actually.
Julie Poker and Elena Vampiro.
Yeah, they're both decent boxers, aren't they? And I think that's going to be a close one. That's going to be interesting. I can see that going the distance.
I'm guessing that will go the distance as well. Like, you know, especially with Julie's record and how she's doing, and Elena. Obviously, she's had a fight with Fangs last time, but obviously she's done a lot of training since then. So I'm really looking forward to see that. There's going to be style fights, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there is. It's going to be some good ones, and obviously the main one, Jarvis versus Big Dave, that's going to be decent as well.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm saying Jarvis is going to win that one. I think Big Dave's a great guy, but I think Jarvis is going to have a little bit too much for him.
Predictions, how do you see it going with you and Dapper Laughs? How does it go?
Well, I can see it going the distance. And you know what? I wouldn't be too disappointed if he went the distance, to be honest with you. Because then we're both showing that we can like box a little bit and not just going there swinging and hoping for a lucky punch, you know. So.
Yeah. Well, 100%. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you, and I'll see you during the week. I know things might be heated a little bit might see a little bit of like, you know, bit of stuff.
Yeah, I might be more calmer this time. I'm like,
who knows? Who knows?
I'll take a few chill pills just lately, so, you know. But.
All right. Well, always a pleasure, Simon, and I can't wait to see your fight with Dapper, man. Always appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Enjoy.